Hello, I'm Peggy Parsons. I work here at the National Gallery of Art. This is our theater. Peter was first and foremost a warm and wonderful friend. But I think what a lot of people in the film world might not know or remember about Peter is that for over a decade he was a fixture here at the National Gallery of Art. 2 times he was a fellow in the Center for Advanced Study in the Visual Arts, which is a very unusual distinction. It's a high honor, and it's a distinction especially to have that appointment twice. The first time he showed up, it was 1981. He was just beginning to do his research on Roberto Rossellini. Ultimately, that turned into a book. But at that time, he was reviewing all the films, and we all knew that on top of his academic career, and this was way before he became a film critic, Peter had a very rich and full and interesting life. But he never stopped meeting people. He never stopped being fascinated by what everybody did. One of the things that he accomplished while he was here at the gallery, and this really kind of launched our film program here, Peter gave a series of talks about Roberto Rossellini. And for the very last one, this was in the late spring of 1982, he, without telling anyone, just on his own, he called up Isabella and he called up her twin sister Ingrid. And both of them showed up for this occasion. Ingrid had a tiny baby, Tommaso. She came in with a baby carriage. Isabella showed up in jeans and a t-shirt, and she went straight for the podium. And unannounced, unintroduced, she gave one of the most moving and beautiful talks about her father that I think anyone has probably ever given. It was really quite remarkable. I'm sorry we didn't record it. But this is indicative of the fullness and the richness of Peter's life, that he would easily become friends with the Rossellini family. I think, though, what really encapsulates the spirit that Peter had here at the gallery and what everybody remembers about him, people who were there, who were here in the early 80s, what really encapsulates it are the remarks of two of our staff members who I polled before I did this little talk. One of them is Tom, who's head of our technical services office. Tom said, "What I remember most about Peter, and what I'll never forget, in 36 years of dealing with art historians, Peter was far and away the most memorable, because he was a boots-on-the-ground kind of guy like me, and that's very, very unusual." The second person that I polled was Elizabeth Kilpinski, who is a program assistant in the Center for Advanced Study, and she said, "Of course I remember Peter. I'll never forget Peter, because even then, in the early 80s, he was going to film festivals, but every time he'd come back from one, he would talk to me. He would come to my desk and he'd talk to me, and I wasn't even a film person. He talked to me about what he saw and what he thought would be of special interest to me when it finally came to theaters in Washington. And you know what? He was always right," Elizabeth said. So that kind of, I think, catches the spirit of Peter and what we all hold dear about him. He was a real boots-on-the-ground kind of guy. Thank you.